The bombings of Nagasaki and Hiroshima and the meltdown at Fukushima were horrific events that serve as poignant examples of the consequences of nuclear proliferation. From their ashes, the idiom "never again" has risen as a rallying cry for peace activists all across the country and all across the world, uniting us in the fight against violence of all forms. But has our nation actually learned from these tragedies? Or have we forgotten the mantra of never again in an era where mobile apps and political divisions distract us from the renewed threat of nuclear annihilation, the constant terror of mass shootings, and the heartbreaking rise of concentration camps on our own soil? The common thread with these phenomena is the same as when we first split the atom. It's always been about power. Since its inception, nuclear technology has been concentrated in the hands of political players whose greedy desires to manipulate the fates of nations is absolute. It's no accident that the institutions they control celebrate violence as a symbol of strength and portray empathy towards human suffering as weakness. Dehumanization is necessary for the perpetuation of warfare, and war yields power and profits to the shadowy elite. It should come as no surprise that dehumanizing language and us versus them rhetoric have become so prevalent in our modern society. After all, you've got to believe that the person you're looking at is the enemy and that you're superior to them in order to pull that trigger, slam that cage shut, or drop that bomb. There's a good guy and a bad guy. You're the good guy. Bomb them all. Bomb them all. That's a phrase that I heard almost every week throughout my many years of street canvassing, sometimes accompanied with racist slander from people telling me to go back home. I don't think they were talking about Chicago. One conversation that has really always stuck out in my memory, a man who proudly informed me that while not all Muslims were terrorists, all terrorists were Muslims. Yet the mass shootings of recent weeks are a stark contrast to his assertion, and a chilling reminder that the demographic committing mass murder today is the same as it was when our bombs dropped into the skies in Japan. I'd like to say that I was able to reach that man when I tried to explain that racial hatred and greed actually motivate mass killings, but instead he took offense, believing that he was being unfairly targeted for my failure to sympathize with his privilege. And they call us snowflakes. But for every story like this, I had many, many more that had happy endings. My days of organizing were filled with opportunities to build bridges, to mobilize people and educate people who had tremendous capacity for love and for change. These community members, like all of us gathered here today, were able to look back at our nation's legacy of violence and admit that we've made some terrible mistakes. We've done a lot of great things too, but that doesn't absolve us from making amends and working together for a better future. And it's in this spirit that I invite you to join me in asking forgiveness from those we've harmed, from the countries we've bombed, for the homes we've made war zones, for the literal and figurative fallout from our mad ambitions and our lust for power. Please forgive us, and know that there will always be those who refuse to forget, who don't just say never again, but live it too. Now more than ever, we must be vigilant in our efforts to stop the threat of nuclear annihilation. It will not be through luck that we survive. It'll be through the organizing and activism and spirit of organizers here today. Thank you for being here, for taking action today, tomorrow, and together until we rid the world of nuclear weapons, concentration camps, and gun violence. No more Fukushimas, no more Hiroshimas, no more Nagasakis, no more mass shootings, no more war. Thank you.
Thank you, Frances. Okay.